We're going to jump right in on the great before and after photos that subscribers have sent in to the HortTube with Jim Putnam YouTube channel over the last few months. I've got literally hundreds of emails that I'm going through, and I love looking at all of your incredible photos. These were sent from Jeremy and Brandy in Greenwell Springs, Louisiana. They sent me some backyard photos as well, but we're going to do the front garden in this video. You can see where they started from here, and very quickly expanded beds out in this front garden space. They've got a shade tree there. I don't actually know what that is. Maybe it's in this email. I don't remember now, but they've expanded the area around it. And any tree you have like that is going to play much more nicely with your existing lawn and garden spaces, you know, having more space around it rather than just, you know, grass going right up to the base of it. So they expanded all these bed spaces and then really got to work planting on it. They've planted lots of pollinator plants. They've said they now embrace my Clown College plant collector style that I've coined, and their back garden photos are this way as well. We'll see that in a different video, but it's just absolutely amazing what they've done with this front garden space. It's super showy. I love the blue mailbox too, just as, you know, almost whimsy in the garden there. And here's the planting that they ended up doing around the tree. Just thank you so much, Jeremy and Brandy, for sending these in from Louisiana. Let me jump into the video real quick. Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. Thank you guys so much for sending in these photos for these before and after subscriber videos. I just love seeing all of your photos. I still have tons of emails. There's going to be several of these going up right in a row, and I'm still going to have 100 emails. But if you're interested in sending in photos, I'd love to see more of them. You can send them to this email address right here. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Next up, we have a few photos sent in from Sandy in Zone 7B, Harrison, Tennessee. And these are over from October of 2020, and then the last photo we see will be more up-to-date photo. She had this retaining wall along the edge of the driveway. There's just some turf up there, and it's really hard. I mean, you know, I always question, you know, with grass, as I think some people would think I just don't like it at all, but that's not the case at all. I just always like grass with a purpose, you know. So if you have young kids and you need open space, and, you know, you want to chip golf balls, or, you know, lawn through, you know, as paths, you know, all kinds of reasons, you know, for lawn, golf, and, you know, sports and all kinds of things, obviously. So, you know, in those contexts, but I always question, you know, you're just mowing this to be mowing it, you know, like it's not a usable turf space. And so it's just a lot of work. So she came in here and put down a sheet mulch, you know, with the cardboard boxes here, and planted some conifers and a few other plants up in this space. And here it is, a little more up to date in 2023. The plants, you know, filling in and growing. It's just a much more maintainable space up on this slope rather than that turf that was up on there. So thank you very much, Sandy, for sending these in from Harrison, Tennessee. Next up, this one's got a really good story. These are sent in from Joseph up in Charlestown, West Virginia, Zone 6B. The house was actually built around 1900, and he purchased it about 3 years ago. And you can see this basically, you know, it was only one dead tree in the back garden was all that was there, and then, you know, grassy weeds similar to what I had there in Raleigh going into that space, and jumped in and got started on it. And he is a high school teacher, and he actually had students come in and help put in this koi pond, and the students put in this 8x12 koi pond, and donated koi, frogs, turtles, the plants. And, you know, jumped all in and helped out with this project. Lots of other things have been planted in this space. There's 20 cultivars of Japanese maples in this back garden, and here's a view, you know, looking down on it now. And there's also a behind the garage. There's 20 laying hens as well. So this there's a lot going on in this garden from where it started, that's for sure. So thank you so much, Joseph, for sending these in. What an amazing transformation. One thing I'd like to say in this video is how much I appreciate all the kind comments that you guys include in these emails, and how long many of you have been watching the channel. And you know, this person here, this is Laura, these are from Lori and Jimmy up in Powhatan, Virginia, Zone 7A, and they were thanking me for being an amazing teacher. And I appreciate so much, you know, the kind comments that are in most of these emails. I don't read out, you know, those comments, but they do mean a lot to me. So thank you very much for that. You can see they said they stumbled upon my YouTube channel about 3 years ago, and you know, jumped all in as a hobby here, and they've done just an amazing job. You can see where they started from, pretty traditional suburban, you know, type house and turf with a planting up near the foundation, and you know, that's typical of what most folks are moving into. And boy, did they turn this into an oasis in their back garden. Tons of pollinator plants, interesting, lots of color. You know, another example of, you know, lots of out plant collecting, quite a bit. You see something you like and you bring it home and you find a spot for it. And just amazing space they turned this back garden into. And so thank you again for the kind comments and for sending in these photos from Powhatan, Virginia. Jumping in here one more time, I wanted to let everyone know from the time this video goes up through the entire month of December 2023, there is a $60 discount off the Learn to Garden video series, which is the biggest discount that's ever been offered on it. You can use the code DEC60, capital DEC60, to get the $60 off during the month of December. Thank you guys so much for participating in all parts of the channel and watching, and again, happy Thanksgiving. So this is a heck of a garden transformation here. These are from Ahad in St. Louis, Missouri, Zone 6B. I have since he sent these photos in. I had a consultation with him. He didn't need much from me, really, because he turned this back garden space into an absolute oasis. All he was asking is a couple opinions on filling a couple spaces in where some wet areas and that kind of thing. But honestly, he's, you know, got quite a bit of knowledge as well. He says he's been watching the channel since 2020. And seen the videos even before those as well, so I appreciate that. You can see wood chips and mulch out here on the driveway that he used to get this garden started, which is basically the way I did mine as well. And here's the back space just mulched at this point. And now jumping in and laying out the beds and, you know, redefining the turf. And here it is starting to mature all the way around, you know, this entire back garden space. And he, you know, he walked me around during the consultation, and it's just really an amazing garden space. And here's the covered area behind the house now, with a seating area, so you can look out over this beautiful backyard garden space. You know, raised containers, and here's the front foundation that he put in this retaining wall and got all of these foundation, you know, all these foundation plants put in. So I appreciate a ton you buying the consultation, even though it was really more showing me your amazing work than probably me helping you out. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much for sending these in. This is just 3 photos, but it's an amazing transformation. This garden's about 13 years old at this point. These are from Agnes up in New Jersey, Zone 6B. We can see where we started from here. It was just a very blank slate. And bam, I mean, you know, look at all the colors and texture and whimsy. You know, the garden art is as important as the plants that were picked in this garden space. She's just done an absolutely terrific job of picking out things, using natural stone, using interesting, again, you know, even the white picket fence back there. All of these things come together, you know, to make a complete garden space. So thank you so much, Agnes, for sending these in from New Jersey. Next up, we have pictures from Jane's garden. I actually don't know where this one is from, and sometimes I struggle to figure out the order of the photos. But there was a mimosa planted in this garden and it kind of lived its life. It was a shade garden, and it lived its life. Mimosas are notoriously kind of short-lived, and you know, very, very showy in the meantime. Unfortunately, invasive as well, but probably cat's out of the bag on that one. But then, you know, once it died, this space became a full sun garden space, and it has been adapted to that with lots more color, pollinator plants, irises here in this photo, and lots of colorful flowering shrubs and other things out here in this garden. So thank you so much for sending in these photos of Jane's garden. Next up, we have some photos from Margaret, and unfortunately this is another one that I don't know where she actually is, but you can see this is just a blank space in a fenced-in area, and she turned it into a lush oasis with, you know, perennial flowering perennial plants and other things, and just looks absolutely fantastic. And then she sent in a couple photos of a front foundation, which is pretty typical of what we would see with, you know, big evergreen shrubs planted under windows that have to be pruned all the time. And she tore those out and came back in here with a mixture of, you know, color and texture, flowering things. You know, some of these things will get larger in time, but they will stay, for the most part, you know, not block that window, which is the, you know, the purpose of this, and not have to be pruned on all the time. And I'm sure the pollinators enjoy this space as well. So thank you, Margaret, so much for sending these in. Next up, we have a new construction landscape makeover. These were sent in from Jessica up in Camas, Washington, Zone 8B. You can see what was planted there by the builder, because, you know, they're trying to do, you know, what they have to do is the requirements to get certificate of occupancy on the house, and that's about as much as most of them do, or some of them will give you a landscape budget that you can work with a few more things on. But, you know, for the most part, they're just trying to get you into the house. And she came back in here and really changed this up. There's some lemon cypress, the tall narrow plants there, a little hottie hydrangea over on the right, and then Carex Feather Falls, which is just such a great Carex. Of course, some of the Superbena sparkling amethyst in the front, and then Limelight Prime hydrangeas across the front there, the three of them. And it's got southwest exposure, so there's a lot of heat, and it's kind of hot here. That's the appropriate place for hydrangea paniculatas for sure, but that's a heck of a change from what the builder had installed to get her into the house. So thank you so much, Jessica, for sending these in, and great work. Last up for this video, this is a pretty daggone big change here. This is Tracy, and this house was purchased back in 2021 up in Northern California, Zone 9B. It's just under a quarter acre lot, and it was pretty overwhelmed, you know, with dying and invasive trees and weeds, layers of deteriorating hardscaping, and just really rocky soil. So they started clearing out everything and jumped all in on this project. They started a lot of the plants from seed themselves, and you can see here just a blank slate, and then jumping in, creating bed spaces, starting to plant a few things, and then really starting to plant some things, and, you know, hardscaping projects going on out here. And then, you know, look at this bed that they were able to create from just a blank space in this back garden. Just an amazing, absolutely amazing transformation. You know, kind of blows me away. You know, I always say, you know, you don't have to race through these things. But if you just chip away at it, eventually, you know, you can start to reach your goals. And this is about 2 years of very hard work here, you know, of adding compost and getting mulch down to suppress those weeds, keep that stuff from coming back. And then you can move forward. You know, once you get to that, you know, got to get to that starting line sometimes. And they bought a space where they had to spend some time getting to the starting line. But since they got to the starting line, they've made a giant change to this space. So thank you so much, Tracy, for sending these in. So that's 10 amazing garden transformations. Again, you can send in before and after photos to this email address right here, horttube@gmail.com. Make sure you turn your phone sideways if you're taking photos with your phone, because YouTube is a widescreen format. Thank you guys so much for participating.